Hey, welcome, thanks for stopping by. It's time to learn with our friend Clive. So grab your brush, have a great time. And don't forget to click subscribe. Visit clive5art.co.uk.
Hello, my name is Clive from clivesart.co.uk. Thank you very much for taking up the invitation to join me in the studio. Now, I've been asked by a numerous amount of people, Clive, can you paint a flower? Well, I'm not a floral artist, but I am going definitely to have a try today. Yes, so let's have a quick look at the palette. As you can see, the colours there are mainly blue. We got a little bit of diazine purple, a little bit of yellow, and I'm going to be putting my mediums out in just a second, and I'm using my standard selection of brushes by there. Okay, we're going to be painting on a 20cm by 20cm canvas. That's 8 inches by 8 inches if you like the imperial measurements, and I do because I'm getting quite old now. So I'm going to draw out very quickly a bluebell. Yes, one of my favourite flowers of all times. Now, I've seen some bluebells have been blooming in Wales now for a couple of weeks. I took my little dog Molly for a walk and I took some photographs. So as I sketch out a bluebell, just have a quick look at that. Hello, Molly. 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 What are you doing up there? Right, let's get back to the studio. That was fun, wasn't it? She's a beautiful little dog, she really is, and she's just gone a year old, so I'm grabbing some kitchen roll, but noisy. Oh dear me, she really is noisy. Okay, so as you can see, I put some retarder, some flow improver. I got a little bit of my clear liquid acrylic clear formula there. You don't need to worry about any of this at all. I'm going to put some of my matte medium mix into the pot there, because that's all the fluid I use, and there is a video to explain all this in the iCards, so if you want to click on that. But please just use plain water. I've been asked a question, Clive, do I need all your stuff? No, you don't. Just use water, but just don't use more than 35 to 45. Over 45% you're going to get problems. That's all I'm going to say, is try not to overthin your paints. You don't need any of this. You can just use water. I just want you to have fun and enjoy. I use these mediums. I've come up with these mediums because they serve my purpose. Right, okay, with that aside, let's grab a, let's have a look. Let's get a little short flat. There you are, that's a 1/2 inch short flat. I'm going to moisten down my palette. Always moisten down your palette if you can. I'm going to pick up a little bit of black, a little bit of diazine purple. There you are. A little bit of black, a little bit of diazine purple. Be careful, diazine. It's dioxazine. Clive, it's dioxazine, not dioxazine, yes. Diazine. It's my Welsh coming out in me. It's dioxazine. You know what I mean. It doesn't matter. Here we are. I've just added a little bit of white just to make that violet. Look at that lovely, lovely violety colour. And I'm just going to put a little bit of that straight onto the canvas. No blending medium. This is straight on to a pre-gessoed canvas panel. Add a little bit more strength into that corner. And that's a nice, thin, lovely, even coat. Now, I am going to be using my fine mist bottle during this because I just want to keep that surface of the painting from drying on me. I'm going to get a little bit of CERULEAN blue and a little bit of CADMIUM yellow. I want to make a green. Not washing my brush, just bringing a little bit of that purple colour into it. There we are. And I'm just going to blend that in like that. Notice I'm not using very thick paint at all. In fact, I'm going to mix a little bit more of that CERULEAN blue, some yellow, there we are, some more yellow, a bit of that purple, there we are. If you look at the colour wheel, you've got a violet and yellow, which is opposite each other, so it's going to be a little bit of neutralization going on here. That's better, that's a better colour. Bit of moisture, picking up some white. I don't want to lose my line work. There you go. Just get a little bit more of that purpley colour. Bleeding it in like that. There we are. Gotta be careful, I'm going to lose that if I'm not careful. So let's just add a little bit more white to that purple. Let's bring a bit of that purple back in. That's better. I lost a bit of that purple now, but it doesn't matter. I told you I'm not a floral painter, but I'm just going to bring in some pure titanium white now with the green that I'm picking up, and it's on the brush. I want to make this look nice and pastel looking, so I'm just bringing in white and just lightening that colour that's already on the canvas. I didn't switch my recorder on. For some reason it didn't work, so I do apologise if the beginning of that was a little bit weird, but we're back onto my mic now. And as I said, I'm just building this colour back up, going back into this green now. I'm bringing this green now back in this side. And if you've done the blending lessons with me, then you're going to find this a little bit easier this time. So I'm just increasing this green now. I'm going to mix a little bit more of that up, a little bit more yellow, a bit more cerulean blue. There you go. We brought a bit of that purple into it, didn't we? Let's bring a bit of white to that. There you go. That's nice. I want a couple of different greens in this background because they're in grass, aren't they? But I want that. I don't want to show blades of grass. I just want to show a representation of some sort of green background. So I just thought, let's just play with a little bit of paint today. Let's have a little bit of fun with the process. There you go. Bring a bit of white back in and just diffusing that off like that. You can see I had a couple of spot marks. I don't know if your camera caught that, but that's a little bit of paint lift because that side of the painting is started to dry, and as I missed it, I had a couple of, I need to clean the head on this, I had a couple of big droplets come out and it landed onto the canvas and it just lifted the paint off a little bit, but that's not a problem. That's not a problem because if you've painted with me before, you know I like washes, and that's exactly what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to dry this very quickly and see why my camera didn't record. Well, my sound didn't record. There we are. That's dry enough. Now I'm going to get some zinc mixing white. You've seen me using this before. It's that one. This is actually a System 3 if you want to go and get some, and it's I think it's System 3. It's a De La Roni one. So a really good paint actually. I quite like this one immensely. So I'm picking up just picking up any old short flat. I'm just going to moisten the brush first. Don't ever forget to do that because we don't want the dry brush to pull all the moisture out of the paint. So I always moisten my brushes before I use them. And if you're using an additive into your water, into your paint water, don't forget that don't over thin your paints more than 30% if you can help it. I keep saying that because it's a question I get asked so many times. And you can see how thin that is. It's actually going onto my backboard. But I want to make this look right washed out and distant and hazy. That's the effect I want, because the focus is going to be, there's no depth of field here really, because the depth of field, the background is blurred. And that's why when I took the photograph, the photograph I'm working from, I use an SLR camera, so I put the background out of focus. So I had the bluebells in focus, and this is what it basically did. So there's no depth of field there really, but I'm quite happy with that effect. So we've got that nice colour, and again I'm going to use a hairdryer on this. I'm just washing that brush very, very quickly. I'm not too worried about getting all the white out of it. I'm going to go back into some of this purple that we made. So we had a bit of dioxazine purple and a little bit of white. There we are. That's a lovely lavender type of colour. There we are. I'm going to be using quite a bit of that, so let's just mix up a nice little pile. And what I suggest you do every so often is just mist down your paints, and that stops the surface of the paint from forming a skin, because you've got the membrane underneath the wet palette, which is wet, so that's going to stop the paint from drying upwards. By misting down the paint from above, it's going to stop it from forming the skin, and then you're going to have no problems whatsoever. That's one of the advantages of using a wet palette, which is my preferred method. There are other palettes out there available on the marketplace, and I encourage you to try and use them. If whatever suits your purposes, basically, whatever suits you as an artist is all of that counts really. So I'm just going to put in a little bit of the purpley colour there, like that, wiping that off, and then just going to blend that in, a little bit of moisture because it's got a bit thicker there. Don't worry about that, because I don't worry too much about that, because we got that lovely bluebell is going to go in there in a minute. I'm just going to darken my purple off a touch, come back into a little bit of that zinc mixing light, and I'm just going to darken that back corner there, like that. Don't know why I picked up a flare of purple on the camera, but that's how it goes. And this is a different way of painting. This is not an impasto, thick impasto style of painting. This is a lovely way to get these lovely pastely colours, and then to get these backgrounds looking misty and murky and distant, and that's what I love about this style of painting. And I couldn't do this with oil paints unless I was using glazes and things. So I love playing around with these pastely like types of effects with acrylics. There we go. And I'm going to dry that again. Yes, there's a lot of hairdryer. I use my hairdryer more than my wife. And this is where the fun starts, so I got to get a little bit closer to my easel, and yes, let's have a look. Let's see if I can alter a couple of camera angles. Okay, so I'm looking at my reference photograph. I got it stuck by there, and I got it's a blue, the type of blue I got a little bit of ultramarine blue there. I'm going to bring that across. There's a lot of moisture on my palette. I don't want this too strong. I'm going to bring a little bit of white to that. Now, this is ultramarine blue is a little bit more on the red side, so I want a little bit more of that. So I'm just putting a little small amount of dioxazine purple, dioxazine purple. I keep saying dioxazine into that. There we go. So I'm going to go from dark to light, basically. I'm getting my Clive stick, and I'm just looking at this flower, so I'm going to do the back bit first. So I'm going to bring that out like that, and that's going to go into there like that. Nice dark colour. and it's dark in here as well, and that's going out like that. Dark in here. There you go. A bit of more white to the palette. I'm going to bring a little bit more of this dioxazine purple into it. Yeah, a bit of moisture. I'm using a bit of our zinc mixing white because the zinc mixing white is not as opaque, so it's not going to change the value of that paint too much. So I want to look at this. It's a lovely, lovely light colour. There you go. Oh, I'm gonna put that there like that. Goes up. And I got a little, I'm going to say forestry, but it is a forestry actually, it is. A little forestry not too far from where I live. Actually I got a couple around where I live. And you can walk down there, and especially in the spring, which it is now, and just bring a little bit of blue to that side. Just changing the flavour. I don't know if you can see that. I'm just adding a little bit of blue to that side, just to change the flavour up a bit. There you are. So these blue, you can get white bluebells actually. I'll put a picture up around here somewhere and show you. I was quite surprised to see them. I was out walking about and I thought, wow, white bluebells. What do you call them? White bells or white bluebells? I don't know what they call them. What do you call a white bluebell? A bluebell. I don't know. That's new to me, that one. I want a bit more white to this side. A bit more white to this side. There you go. Okay. And we need to bring that down. So just playing with colours. Yeah, so I took some wonderful, wonderful photographs of the woods, which have got the bluebells in, and I'm in the process of looking at actually doing a lovely bluebell wood painting. So that could be the next one. Who knows? That could be the next one. So just add a few different blues in on that, and you've got that purpley look about these flowers. Some are really dark blue, where others are more of a violet type of blue, and they're wonderful little things. And I'm just going to put a titanium white because we've got a couple of little stigmas there. That's what holds the pollen, and the little bees come along and they buzz their way in, and they go and suck up all the pollen. They certainly do. A little bit of moisture, just to get this one done like that. A little bit of colour in there now, and I'm just going to pick up a little bit of that blue, making sure I got a little bit of moisture. Or you can use a retarder, or a little bit of each. You can go a little bit of the retarder, a little bit of flow improver. It doesn't matter which way you do it, as long as it works. Using flow improver will increase the flowability of your paint, and you'll find that works much better for you. And I got my camera set up. I've changed the lay of my studio a touch. There you go. I'll just put a. Is that one falling behind? I'm not sure if that was behind. I think it is. Just catching a bit of light there like that. Come back in a little bit darker colour. So I've had to move my cameras a little bit in the old studio here, and I'll give it a good old clean, as I normally do in most springtime. So I'm going to get a little bit of that darker colour now. I'm just going to put a little bit of a edge there like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull that up. It looks as if there's a little bit of a shadow cut then going into these top leaves like that. And then there we go. Get a little bit of this violet-y blue, this violet colour that we use on the background there, and just laying in a few little lights like that. There you go. Now I haven't painted many flowers, but I'm hoping this will work out okay, because we don't have happy accents in the studio, we have major disasters. And I got to thank Jason Bowen for that one, because he pinched my catchphrase. Jason, I wasn't happy. I'm only joking. Me and Jason, good friends. Yes, okay. Just mixing all these different types of colours together. I got all these blues there. I don't know if I'm going to use them, but I thought, well, it's better to have them on the palette and not need them. Need them and not have them. So I'm just going to add a little bit of white to what paint I got on my brush, look. Simple as that. Because I want this to be distant in the background like that. Okay, let's work on this one. Now I want this one a little bit brighter. So again, I'm bringing that colour there. I'm going to bring a little bit more dioxazine purple to it. Just a touch. There we are, a bit more white. A bit of my medium mix. And let's have a look at this one. There's two here. There's one there and there's one there. So I've got to try and separate these two. So let's try and work on this one first. Let's just try and work on this one first. There. Okay. So let's get a little bit of a darker blue and just bring in that stem there, and that's going to bleed into that. And then pick up a little bit of darker blue on this tip, because that's going to go around like that, and that's all going to merge together. Bleed these in lovely. And lightening that again with some more titanium white. And let's have a look at this. Just to darken that up a touch. And as you know, if you've painted with me before, let me have a look what I've done there. I'm never shy on trying different things out, and I put myself into some awkward positions sometimes, because when we come to paint something that we've never painted before, and it's not too bad when you're on your own, but when you're making videos, you don't know how it's going to work. You don't know whether it's going to work, or it's going to work out and look a complete another mess. And trust me, it is a bit scary being this side of the camera, because we don't know, and I certainly don't know, and I know the other YouTube creators don't know unless they've practiced them before, and I don't, because I like things to be real. I like things to be as you see them, and I know I do a little bit of editing here and there, but that's just to save video time. So I'm just putting the darks in at the moment. All I'm doing is concentrating on getting the main blocking of colour done, and there's a bit of a leaf there, and we've got another bit of a stem coming up through there like that, and we got another bit of a leafy thing there that's going to bleed in like that. That's going to come there like that. Okay, so you can see I'm using all these colours. I'm just mixing them all as I need them. I'm using the same range of colours, just different values of colours. Just bluing that up a touch. Bluing that up a touch. There we are. Very, very delicate flowers, bluebells. I absolutely, bluebells and snowdrops are some of my favourite flowers. And for the life of me, I don't know why I have never done many floral paintings, but it's never really been my thing. But it's always important that we push ourselves on occasions and do things that make us feel uncomfortable, because you'll never learn if you don't try, and that's certainly true. You'll never learn if you don't try. I'm just playing around with some colours a minute, and just want to darken that edge there a bit, there, like that. There we are. We're getting a little bit of shape there now, and I want to put a bit of purple there, and a little bit of purpley blue there. I want to make this bit really diffuse here, so there's no actual shape to that bit at the back. That's another bunch of heads, bluebell heads, so it doesn't really matter. In fact, I'm going to pick a bit of zinc mixing white up now, and I'm just going to diffuse that like that. Just make it look really brilliant out of focus. There's no detail to that at all. I'm picking up a little bit of this ultramarine blue now, and I'm looking at this and trying to find the shape of this flower. Got a couple of stigmas there like that, a little bit of blue there. Okay, and then we're back into this. Let's use a bit of flow improver this time, or was it retarder? It doesn't matter. Picking up a bit of white, let's whiten this colour up now. You notice I'm going bluer now, because I want to bring a little bit more blue into this head. Bring a bit more of that ultramarine blue now to that. Just stroking a canvas with the tip of that brush. If you've painted with me before, you know I say at certain times it's like tickling the back of your hand when we blend in, and that's what I'm trying to do here with the tip of this brush. Really is very, very fine, light pressure strokes, and you need to certainly practice all these different strokes if you can to get effects. There's no people say, oh, I can't paint this and I can't paint that, and you know, I got no luck. I say I'm the biggest person to say that. I can't paint landscapes, and I don't like flowers. But really, you should be able to turn your hand to anything, because the process of painting is exactly the same, whether you're painting a tree, painting a flower, painting a horse, painting a cat, painting a dog, painting a human being. The process is all basically the same. It really is. And like everything else, it just takes practice, practice, practice. And this is why I love doing and pushing myself sometimes. Just get a bit more of that violet-y blue in here. It's a bit lighter in there, so let's go picking up a bit of that mixing white again. And I'm just lightening that colour, so I'm just bringing in a little bit of light into that petal there, like that. And again, there, a little bit of light coming in. Just play around with these colours. I'm going to pick up a bit of the ultramarine blue. Just put a, I guess, a bit of a stigma in there. It's a stigma. Stigma. I think that's a word. I think that's what they call it. There we are. Okay, so I got the main looking type of colour there. I'm going back into this green, and let me have a look at the colour I got. It's quite a dark green, so I'm just going to pick up, I don't know, a bit of phthalo blue maybe. Got a little bit of phthalo blue there just to darken that up. A bit more moisture into my palette. There you go. To reposition that mud camera, I think. And then I'm just bringing in a bit of green. Green and blue is going to be lovely together. Bring that bit of that colour down there like that. I'm going to pick up some white now, and I'm going to paint that straight on. There, like that. The stems are quite dark on these flowers, I noticed. But as the stem, as it comes out of the main shaft of the stem, this tends to be a little bit. I hope you heard that. That's a seagull. Yeah, we got seagulls that fly around. We're not far from the coast, so just put a little bit of colour in. There you go. And they come along, they make some funny noises, and my cat goes absolutely ballistic. She goes jumping up onto this studio roof sometimes to try and catch these birds. There we go. And then we can diffuse that a little bit more. Okay, and time to dry that with a hairdryer once more. Okay, once more, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my 1 inch short flat and get a little bit of moisture by there, and then pick up a bit of that. It doesn't matter if there's a little bit of purple in it. If you contaminate it, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to make a little wash again. I love washes. It's my thing. And I'm just going to very lightly, very lightly, a bit more paint to that. I'm just going to diffuse that because I want to make it look pastely, and by doing that I'm knocking back the strength of the colours, knocking them back, making them just look a little bit more hazy. There you go. This is just a different way of painting. This is my way of painting, and I love doing it like this because I'm not a very good watercolour artist. I have done a few watercolours, not my thing really. I used to do a lot of oil painting, and I've done a lot of glazes with oils and over the years, and I really do enjoy that type of style of painting, and this is my thing. This is how I paint. But it's a lovely process. If you've never painted before, you don't have to put these washes on, but it can hide a multitude of problems as well as giving you a lovely effect. And that's all I try to do is give this. I want to give this a nice soft, light, soft focus look of a painting rather than a photograph. Yes. So I'm moving in for the kill. Okay chaps, time to move in for the kill. I'm picking up my number 4 detail brush, and again just going in the same colours that I used earlier on, and I just want to strengthen up a few bits and pieces, so I'm going in a bit lighter now, and I'm just putting in a few lighter strokes onto this lovely little looking bluebell, just softening up a few areas, putting a bit of lightness to the back there, even a little bit of a shadow look, bringing that in, softening the green up a little bit there with the bluebell colour, because there's going to be a bit of reflective light coming off these bluebells. They're going to be casting not just shadows, but they're going to be pulling in light as well, and that's something you need to consider when painting anything really, that you get cast shadows and you get normal shadows, but you can get a light bouncing off things. You certainly can. So all you need to do is just bring in your little bits of light there like that, a bit of light where you think this is going to be catching. There you go. A little bit darker there. Don't kill all your darks, but just get that to look a little bit more bluebelly, if it's such a word. I'm going to pick up a little bit of yellow, because these stigmas are actually yellow. Yes. So paint what you see. My only advice to you is, if you see it, paint it, because especially if it's a flower or something like that, then it's there, isn't it? It's got to be right, because that's what you can see. That's what you can see. Let's just darken that in there a little bit and just put a bit of that. And all I'm doing is painting what I can see. Put that shadow there like that. Pull out a little bit like that. There's a little bit of a shadow, and going back into that white again and pulling from that centre, a bit more white maybe, and just put a bit more white. My palette is a little bit contaminated. Oops, not too much. Don't use too much bright. Don't use bright white. It's better to use a tinted white. So if I put bright white by there now, look, it's not. It looks strange. Okay, you haven't got really bright white things if you think about it. It's just light. You can build up light like that, and let's get a little bit of this darker colour there now. Just lighten out just a touch. Maybe I need to be darker in there. Don't fiddle too much with these things. That's too dark. Look. Don't you wanna? Tint of blue. Tint. Just a hint of blue. Just a little tint of blue. Let's just get a little bit of shadow. A little bit of shadow in there. And all I'm using for shadow is just a darker colour, which in this case is ultramarine blue. There you go. How does that look? Does that look okay? I don't know. I'm not a floral painter. Let me have a look at the camera. The camera looks pretty good. So maybe you put a bit of a lighter area there. Let's bring a bit of right, they're bouncing around on each other. These are funny old things, these bluebells. Okay, back into this light. Let's bring a bit of light over there. Let's get a bit of this purpley colour. There we go. A bit of purpley colour there. I need a bit more white, I think. Doesn't matter. We'll work on that now. Just caress this canvas. Yeah, a bit more blue. I do that every video lately. I think that's going to be a trademark. Clive, this is how Clive throws his brush across the room. Nice. Okay. There's an award for throwing your brush across the room. I think I'd win. It's an Olympic sport. It certainly is. I'll just put a little bit of colour there. Just put a bit more of this blue. A bit of lighter colour though, bringing that in. Well, I did say I'm not a floral painter, and it certainly looks as if I'm not a floral painter. It certainly does. But I'm happy to say that you're looking pretty good to me. Let's put that. I don't know why I did that. Seemed like a good idea at the time. Can't see in that one. It's really hanging over there, and there's a little bit of a. If we put a little bit of a stigma there, maybe that'll do. Maybe if we change this, use a bit of artistic license now, so we can get a couple of these folds in like that. You know what's going to happen now, don't you? I mess in too much, and you can spoil things like that. I want to get that to turn up, maybe. That's nice. Let's get that to turn up then. Let's get that to turn up. There we are. Okay. We'll put a. Make it a little bit darker in there. That's turned up now. There we are, it's better. Maybe we got to do a turn there as well. That's it. That looks a bit better, doesn't it? I don't know. Marks out of 10? 4. We do have fun. Doesn't matter. I don't care. I just enjoy my painting. That's what it's all about sometimes. It's just, you can always correct something if you're not happy with something. Yeah, I can see that falling now. There we go. It looks a bit better. Looks a bit better. Let's put a couple of, there's a tiny bit of white. Let's put a couple of, but if we do that, we might be able to hide a few mistakes. What do you say, Clive? I think that might be a good idea. Bit of yellow. Right, okay, we wouldn't see, maybe now we can see. That's a little bit better. Okay, because that's the one behind. So maybe we should separate that one a little bit. We darken on a touch there like that. And then bring us just a shade lighter maybe. There we are. Let's make that a bit darker there. A bit darker. How does that look? That looks bad. That looks bad. No! What have I done? Lighten this one then. Lighten that one. Looks a bit better. Now you can see there's definite one behind that. Can you see that? Yes, you can. It looks better on camera than it does in real life. A bit like me. Okay. Yes. Let's get a bit of this bluey colour, and like I said, let's just pull in a bit of blue into this green area now, like that. it's going to be a bit. There's another one falling behind. And let's get a little bit. Let's just. I don't know what blue that is. That's why I say ultramarine blue was. There we are, is it? I don't know. Was that ultramarine blue? I don't know. Can't remember. Not impossible to forget my age. But it works. As long as it works, it doesn't really matter, does it? So if it's a little bit of Prussian blue, then that's fine. Not really. My thing is flowers, but we will have a go. Want that pastely effect. Yeah, I'm secretly upset. I'm secretly happy. I am, yes. I think it's cool. Don't ever worry. Always, my advice to you today, my tip, Clive's tip, always aim to fail. Because you can never get any worse. So don't be afraid of failure. It's just a mist before success. And always aim to fail. Because you can't do any worse, can you? No. So, if somebody says to you, God, that wasn't very good. No, I know, I tried. I tried to make a mess of it. So that's my tip for the day. Clive's tip. Always aim to fail. My father said to me, he said, one day, boy, he said, you'll go up in the world. I wasn't expecting to be window cleaning for 30 years. But hey, it pays the bills. Or it paid the bills, I should say. I don't know what blues I'm using now, it doesn't matter. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Just a dark blue. There we are. Bluebells are bluebells for a reason, because they're blue. A little bit of more violet in these ones, though. I don't know why. It must be just maybe just the light. I don't know. Let's bring a little bit of lightness out there like that. Wispy. That's the one right behind. That is. That's over there. See, that there is another bluebell, because they grow either side type thing. They do. And let's put a little bit of this on that stalk like that, very thinly like that. And let's get a bit of this darker colour. That is Prussian blue. I know, because I can tell by the colour. So let's just increase a few shadowy type of patterns in now. And I dare say that you could paint for hours and hours and hours. I wouldn't. I'm quite surprised the amount of detail you can get from these things. And the more I do it, the more I'm starting to enjoy it, because I can see my favourite flowers actually come into life here. There you go. How are we looking on camera? Does that look pretty good? It doesn't look too bad, I don't think. It could be better, but we're not worried about that. Just strengthening up a few areas now. I'm going to lighten that up again there. Put a little bit more. Colour in. My cork is falling off my cork stick. Just put a little bit more colour in. Very, very delicate brush strokes now. Just going in with just a little bit of detail. I'm not happy with that one there. I don't know why, it looks wrong. I don't know what I've done there. I don't know what I've done wrong there. So maybe let me have a look at my photo. If I take a bit of light down like that, put a bit of light in there, and then pull in a bit of light like that. Even that shadow in place there. This is on a twist. Pulling that out. This is coming from underneath there. So. And there's a bit of a winky thing there like that, and then that's got a bit of a light on it. It's got a bit of this dark colour now, and it's got a funny old leaf, that one. How's that look? I think that's okay. Do you know, I'm not unhappy with that. I don't think. I tell you what I could do really now is I could just get a little bit of this very, very pale blue. In fact, I'm going to add a little bit more zinc mixing white to my palette. And I'm corking funny because I've got my brush in my mouth. So just add a little bit more. And then let's just lighten that up. That's good. Let's just lighten that up. Let's just run my brush through a bit of green now. Just run my brush through a little bit of green, and on a bit of my white, and that's a better colour. That's a better colour. Green is a bit too dark, I think. I wanted to look green, but it's also going to have that essence of blue about it. There we are. Oh, I think we got just about a finished painting, so I'm just going to sign my name in the bottom right hand corner. You can sign your name anyway, or anyhow you want to. So there you go, have a go. Yes, a little bluebell. Yes, one of my favourite flowers. I'm not a floral painter, and I do apologise if that's the best I can do, but it's a bit of fun. Practice, that's the most important thing. So from me in the studio, have a good day, a good week, a good month, a good year. God bless. I don't know exactly when you're going to be watching this because time is relative on YouTube. So please have a try. My name is Clive from clivesart.co.uk, and I will see you in the studio for the next lesson. Nice.